It has been said that each California state park contains a miracle, a unique feature that makes it worth preserving. Our 3-year journey took me to 90 of California's state parks in search of these miracles, and what I found was truly amazing. On this edition of Traveling California State Parks, join us as we visit the parks of Northern California. I started our state park journey from my home near San Francisco and headed 2 hours northeast toward Highway 80 and California's capital, Sacramento. Although the city of Sacramento has no state parks which allow camping, it is full of historic sites and museums which preserve California's history, and that makes it a good place to begin. My first stop was to the Capitol building, which is open to the public for tours. I met with my guide, Bill, and asked about the objectives of state parks. Bill, what is the mission of the state parks?
The mission of the state parks is to preserve the cultural and natural histories of our state here. And the amazing part is through the years, all the changing political climates, the changing of the values of the population, it's a miracle. All of these things have been preserved so that people today can go and see them and learn about our past.
What will visitors experience when they visit the historic parks of Sacramento?
You know what's wonderful is within the confines of the city here, the downtown part, you can go to Sutter's Fort and find out the beginnings, when it started. You can go to the State Indian Museum, find the cultural history of our Native Americans. You can go to the old Sacramento, to the California State Railroad Museum, find out how railroads tied us all together. And then finally, you can go over to Governor's Mansion and also to the state capitol, find out where 13 governors lived and where all the bills were made that make us what we are today.
What's the historical significance behind Sutter's Fort?
This is where it all started. John Sutter established Sutter's Fort and used it as basically a ranch and staging area for immigrants coming from the east. The Donner Party, when they were stranded in the mountains in Sierra Nevada, rescue parties started from Sutter's Fort to go up and get them. From Fort Ross, Sutter brought down cannons and used cannons from Fort Ross as protection. And speaking of cannons, you can go to living history reenactments and also environmental programs that they have constantly through the year. Cannons are going off, guns are being fired, and you're just able to see what life was like back there in the 1840s. And you know, while you're there at Sutter's Fort, literally on the same block, you can walk over a few steps and go into the State Indian Museum. And at the State Indian Museum, they have preserved the culture of the Native Americans who were here in California prior to everything else happening. And they have a number of events through the year also that celebrates that history.
What do people find when they go to Old Sacramento?
Oh, geez. You know, you can find just about anything. You have, it's basically buildings from the 1870s that have been restored, in 1870s and earlier. You have the Delta King, a riverboat that went between Sacramento and San Francisco. You have the Eagle Theater. It's a part of our state park there. The Eagle Theater is the first theater in California. Probably the biggest thing they have there is the California State Railroad Museum. This is the largest interpretive museum in North America. And within there, they have 21 fully restored locomotives and cars, and easily takes an hour and a half to go through there. Truly a wonderful visit.
What was the life of the railroad workers like?
Well, you know, it depends on your perspective. For us, it was the pits. But for them, keep in mind, both the Chinese and the Irish, these people were immigrants coming here. They were looking to make a better life. It was a hard life, but they were bettering themselves, or that's how they perceived it at the time.
And you can take a train ride, a real train ride.
Oh yes, we have a railroad, Sacramento Southern Railroad, completely run by volunteers. It's operated on the weekends through the summer up through October. You go down the Sacramento River. It's about a 45-minute trip, and that's a separate admission from the California State Railroad Museum.
Now, the home where the governors live, it isn't too far from here, is it?
13 governors lived in the governor's mansion about 6 blocks away from the state capitol. And it was built in 1877. And just all the 13 governors that went through, they left something of them as they came through. And what's neat as a visitor to go through there is that you're taken through the house. It's wonderful.
What things will we find inside the mansion?
Well, you know, the mansion just looks like someone is living in it right now. And you could go in the formal parlor, and here's little petticoat mirrors where we want to make sure the petticoats are fine. You go in the informal parlor where there's a piano set up. You can go in the dining room, and it looks like it's all ready for dinner. And the remarkable thing is with the china, the gold trim that's on the china actually came from the gold rush. Up on the second floor, especially on all the bedrooms, they have all these different gowns, formal gowns from the different first ladies of the governors. And also under the heading of Kids Will Be Kids, ask the guide to show you in one of the bathrooms what Kathleen Brown, daughter of Pat Brown, did to one of the bathtubs.
My Capitol Museum guide, Michelle, took me on a tour of the Capitol building. Michelle, when visitors come to the state capitol, what are they going to see here?
There's a lot to see. The legislature actually meets here so they can view the legislative sessions. All the legislative offices are here. It's a draw in that it's where state government operates, and it's also a draw because of the way it looks. We have a historic capitol about the 1900 era, and we have museum rooms where people can see what state government looked like in that time period. We have portraits of all the governors. We offer free guided tours every day, 7 days a week, thousands of student tours. It's an exciting place to be.
And you also have a real impressive rotunda and dome, don't you?
We sure do. That is definitely one of the highlights. The rotunda is spectacular. The warm colors and the dome and the rotunda really symbolize government. Greek democracy, Roman law, it's all symbolized. So even as much as the building looks the way it does, it's also a symbol, and a symbol for all people. It belongs to everyone, and that's something I like a lot about it.